Alrighty, Hasses, so I can only make a few more tutorials tonight because I am going to see American Sniper. Hopefully it does not suck. And if you guys know of any good movies in theaters right now, let me know. Love watching movies. No superhero movies. I'm not really into those. You think I would be for all the effects and stuff, but yeah, not really my thing. I don't know. There's just too many of them. So let's focus here, Bucky. What I'm gonna do, instead of pretty much copying all this code and pasting it for each new tutorial in the forum, so to make it really easy for you guys, I'm gonna add a comment on each little thingy I draw, and that way whenever I post this in the forum, you guys can just copy this code or uncomment it, and well, you guys are going to see in just a second. So everything that I'm going to draw in these upcoming tutorials, what I need to do first is, well, I don't want to say everything, but most of the stuff, I'm going to get the context, which is that fancy paintbrush. I'm going to add some settings to it, and then I'm going to draw the shape, and it's going to be different for every shape, and then I'm gonna call this method to actually draw on the screen. So this is the only part that changes. So again, that's what's going on in case you guys were confused. So in this tutorial, what I want to do is I want to show you guys how to create custom shapes. So the first thing is just CG context move to point, and of course, just like before, let's say that we wanted to create like a stop sign. No, not a stop sign. I'll just create whatever shape pops into my head. So let's go ahead and start at like 50-50, somewhere near the top left of the screen. Now, just like before, I'm just gonna copy that so I don't mess anything up. We're gonna call the method CG context add line to point. So this isn't just for drawing straight lines. You can also draw entire shapes with this. So let me go from 50-50 to like 90-90. Actually, let's go 90-130. We'll see where that brings us. And let me so now we have another line that looked just like before, and this will be the bottom, and this will be the point on the left, and the last line is just going to connect it back to the original starting point. So 50-50, there you go. So from 90-130, which would be like somewhere over here, let's go down more. So 180, and we'll also go back a little bit. So 100, and then we need to go to the left. So we're gonna go up to 90 and to the left, which would be like 60. And all right, so let's see how this baby turns out. And once, wow, that is the ugliest shape I've ever seen in my life. That is not at all how I pictured like a diamond in my head, and look at this thing. But I'll explain to you guys what's going on. All right, so this is the very first point. We went over 50, down 50. Now the next point, if you go over 90, down 130, you get to that point. Looking good so far. So from there, we went over 180, down 100. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but this isn't a straight line from here to here. We have one more other point, puts a little kink in it. So we went over 90 to 60 and then back to 50-50 to end it. Now, this just creates a path, an invisible path right there. And then this, of course, like before, creates the ugliest shape in the world. So, all right, very nice, very nice. So now let me go ahead and copy this, and I'll show you guys what I'm doing. So I'll just say ugly shape. So when you guys are on the forum, you will know what it means. And whoever runs this code and it wasn't watching this tutorial, they will soon find out that this is indeed the ugliest shape ever. But now what I want to do is I actually want to show you guys how to create a rectangle, because if you're like, all right, should probably learn how to create basic shapes, this is actually really easy, or at least a lot easier than, you know, making your own weird custom shape. So by default, it gives you methods to make simple shapes like rectangles, circles, or ellipses. And of course you can make squares, because a square is just, you know, like an even rectangle. So let's just say we'll let rectangle equals, and the method is, it's only one line of code, cg rect make, and this is actually 2 lines, I lied. So cg rect make, the first parameter is, all right, you know, this is probably easier if I just show you guys, but it says, where do you want the top left of the rectangle to be? The top left corner, and we'll just say we want it to, let's put this at 50-50 again. So the top left of the rectangle is going to be at 50-50. Now the width and height, of course, are just the width and height of the rectangle. So we'll make this a square, and we'll make it 200 by 200. Actually, let's make it 200 by 400. Might be a little easier to see visually. And now when we want to actually add this to the screen, we use cg context add rect. Now the first thing is what paintbrush are you using, and the second one are give me the coordinates of the rectangle, and that is rectangle, right like that. So now if I run this, check it out. All right, so we have our starting point is 50 over and 50 down, and now the width is 200 and the height is 400. So these aren't the starting points and the ending points. A lot of people get that confused. So there you go. That is how you make custom ugly shapes and rectangles. So I'm actually going to comment all this and put it on my forum. And in the next tutorial, I don't even know what I'm going to be showing you guys, but it's going to be sweet.